What is going on, guys? It's your boy Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you once again with some more Total Extreme Wrestling in 2020. It is Sunday, week 2 of November 1997. We are slowly but surely getting to that Survivor Series pay-per-view, which is one of the considered Big 4 pay-per-views. So we have to make it big, we have to make it special, and we have to make it make it an A+ show. There's no ifs and buts or about it, and we have to build to that show. But before we can build to that show and get to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown to where we are building up to that show, we have to get through the pre-show of Sunday Night Heat and a pre-show bout that had Superb Wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Test defeats Al Snow in 7:55 by pinfall. The match got a 54. Test with a 53 and Al Snow with the 53. Awesome stuff from both guys. Test is exactly where I kind of want him to be. So let's keep going with our other opening pre-show matchup. Steve Corino sustained a boxer fracture. That is not good at all. But Crash Holly and Steve Corino have pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. Crash Holly defeats Steve Corino by pinfall with an Irish Karana. The match got a 42, Crash Holly with a 55, and Steve Corino with a 43. Awesome stuff. Announcing color commentary, you get the match a boost. And Jim Cornette, being Steve Corino's manager, he did some great work at ringside. It sucks about Steve Corino. We're going to have to find out how long he's going to be out. And our opening segment of Sunday Night Heat on 92, Shane McMahon welcomes us to the show. He's in his commissioner's office. He is pretty much the commissioner, the GM. You know, he's the one that Vince put in charge of Sunday Night Heat. And he basically said last week on Sunday Night Heat that this is going to be the show. He's going to make this his show. He's going to have, this show's going to showcase the future talent of the World Wrestling Federation. The stars of tomorrow. The stars that are going to be big names here in the World Wrestling Federation in years to come. And he basically says the same thing tonight, that he has talent. Here tonight, we are going to see some big names here tonight from our developmental territory competing here tonight. And he also runs down our big main event, saying that Ultimo Dragon has issued an open challenge to anyone in the locker room for the WWF Light-Heavyweight Championship. That Ultimo Dragon wants anybody, and he means anybody, in the light heavyweight division to give him a challenge. He's beaten pretty much anybody and everybody, and he is looking for a challenge here tonight. We also have that big Steve Williams versus Scott Steiner matchup here tonight, along with the odd pairing tag team of Jushin Thunder Liger and the Hurricane teaming up against, they will be taking on Jerry the King Lawler and Prince Brian Lawler. So we are going to have to see who comes out on that match. But before we do all that, we have to get on to our opening contest of the night, which is Lance Storm picking up a win against Mark Merrow with the Canadian Maple Leaf, a single leg crab. The match got a 61, not bad. Lance Storm with a 63 and Mark Merrow with a 55. Stable did some great work at ringside. Lance Storm picking up a big win here tonight. We are going to move on to our next segment, and we go backstage, and we see this man. He has a do-rag on, you know, gold chains. He has his shades on, and he walks in to Shane McMahon's office, and he goes, "Let me holler at you, player." And Shane steps up, you know, he gives him a dap, you know, he hugs him. He goes, "What's going on, man? How you doing? How's everything going for you?" And he goes, "Just great, player." He goes, "You see, since I've been here in the World Wrestling Federation, you know," he's like, "y'all sent me down there to awesome talent. And brother, I found no better talent than these two men right now. Come on in." And he pulls in, and in walks this big mammoth of a man. Big old dude. Super, just a big old dude. He walks in here. Shane McMahon goes, "Whoa, you're a big guy." And he just, you know, he has that he's mean mugging. He just cracks his knuckles, you know, everything. And then in walks this young cocky dude, you know, he's wiping his nose with his thumb and bobbing his head back and forth. And Shane McMahon goes, wow, these two guys look impressive. So they're a tag team, and you know, and the guy with the glasses and the do rag and the gold chains, you know, he's like, player, you of all people know that I love me a good tag team match, player. And I've managed some of the best talent of all around. You know, at one time, I managed Psycho Sid. I even managed The Undertaker. And Shane goes, yeah, that's why we hired you, man. We'd love to have you. We know that you have an eye for talent. And Teddy's just like, well, player, tonight my two boys are going to show the World Wrestling Federation and the fans at home that they don't need to be drinking the haterade, because we going to bring the pain and we going to bring the hate ourselves, brother. Let's go, fellas. And he hits them on the chest and they walk out to the ring. So the tag team, Teddy Long, found, this is the first time we've seen Teddy Long. He's been in developmental, trying to find hot, young, new talent to be brung up to the main roster. And he found probably one of the biggest guys in professional wrestling, Mark Henry. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry. He's won a bunch of strongman competitions. And the young, cocky, and arrogant D'Lo Brown, Teddy Long debuted his manager gimmick, which got poor. That is so sad to hear. And D'Lo Brown debuted his cocky young youth gimmick, and it got great. Shane McMahon came across well. Teddy Long did well also. And announcing color commentary gave the match a boost. We're going to go on to that matchup. And a terrible match. Henry and D'Lo defeat the Headbangers when Mark Henry pinned Mosh in 3:14. So Mark Henry went in there and did work. The Headbangers in the high 30s with a 39 and a 38. D'Lo with a 52, and Mark Henry with almost a 60. Mosh and Thrasher have the tag team specialist bonus. D'Lo and Mark Henry have excellent tag team chemistry teaming together, and that's the color commentary gave the match a boost. Teddy Long did some great work at ringside, and Mark Henry and Teddy Long have pretty good chemistry together. Awesome stuff. Love to see it. Love to see it. They pick up a big win as they squash the Headbangers. Pretty much Mark Henry just went out there, beat the holy shit out of him, and D'Lo, jumped off the top rope with what did he call that move? I know it's not the lowdown. Oh God, it's been so long ago. I can't even remember what he called that move. His modified frog splash that he did off the top rope and picked up the win for his team here tonight. We move on to the next segment, and it is the Hurricane, and he is talking to Jushin Thunder Liger and the Shark Boy. As we know, the Hurricane pretty much showed up, and he brought his sidekick Shark Boy, and he's trying to convince Jushin Thunder Liger to join his superhero league. They have not came up with a name for their tag team, but the Hurricane pretty much hyping them up, saying, we got this. We're going to win this matchup against Brian the Prince Lawler and Jerry the King Lawler. And this segment got a 31. I wasn't expecting this segment to do great. The Hurricane struggled going off strip. Announcing color commentary gave the match, this segment, a boost. We move on to the next segment, which is the tag team match. In a bout that had decent wrestling, but not that much way of heat, Jushin Thunder Liger and the Hurricane beat Brian Lawler and Jerry Lawler when Jushin Thunder Liger pinned Brian Lawler with a sheer drop drain bassa. The Hurricane was a weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. This match still got a 63, not bad. Jushin Thunder Liger and the Hurricane have great chemistry teaming together, and that is the only reason why I teamed them up. Jerry Lawler with a 67 and Brian Lawler with a 57. The Hurricane with a 48 and Jushin Thunder Liger with a 62. Hurricane is getting better at his superhero gimmick. We move on to the next segment, which is, we see Kevin Kelly, and he's backstage, and he's interviewing Scott Steiner. And he goes, Scott, we have seen... Scott Steiner, thank you for your time. for weeks now, we have seen Dr. Death Steve Williams go out there and annihilate his opponents. What makes you different from everybody else? And he goes, what makes me different from everybody else? Hold on, let me do this right. What makes me different from everybody else? Well, you see, Steve Williams, when he got in the ring, he went in there and he fought just regular guys. And you look at me, and you clearly see that I'm a genetic freak. So his chances of winning drastically go down. Because you see, when you go one-on-one with the normal man, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm not a normal man. I'm a genetic freak. So he probably, at best, has a 25% chance of winning. But he knows he can't beat me. So he's not even going to try. And then you have my brother Rick watching my back. His chances of winning drastically go down. You see, the numbers don't lie, Steve Williams. And they spell disaster for you tonight. He looks at the mic and he looks at the camera and he walks off. Kevin Kelly's like, oh, yes. Great math. And we move on to the next segment here tonight. And it is that matchup between Scott Steiner and Dr. Death Steve Williams. And the match ends in a draw, followed by a double countout. The match got a 68. Not bad. Scott Steiner with a 79 and Steve Williams with a 75. Steve Williams benefited from having a hot new move. They go outside of the ring, and it's just a hoss fight. That's like the best way I can describe this when I was booking it. Not I'm booking it. Shane McMahon. When Shane McMahon, there we go. Gotta keep kayfabe here. When Shane McMahon was booking it, it's a big hoss fight. You know, two big muscly dudes just beating the holy hell out of each other. And they end up going to the outside and just continue brawling. And just continue brawling up the ramp, you know, backstage. And we had to cut it. We had to cut it off, you know, and security ends up breaking them up after the count and everything like that. And these two men just want to get their hands on each other. And we move on to the next segment. And we see Jerry the King Lawler and Brian Lawler go into Shane McMahon's office. We go to commercial and we come back. And Jerry the King Lawler's like, hey! Oh, listen here! What happened out there tonight was absolute travesty. There's no way that my son Brian Lawler should have been pinned by some mass freak. And Shane McMahon's just like, well, you know, I'm sorry, you know, y'all lost y'all's tag team match. Jerry King Lawler's just like, do you know who you're talking to? I'm the king, and this is the Prince of Wrestling, and I'm the king of wrestling. All right? And they want to get together and make their little superhero group and play pretend. Well, look here, I'm not pretending. All right? I've earned this crown in professional wrestling, and he has earned his crown in professional wrestling. And I'll be damned if I lose to some pissant jabroni like the Hurricane. So I'll tell you what, next week here on Sunday Night Heat, I want a match against the Hurricane. And if he beats me, then I promise I will never show my face on Sunday Night Heat ever again. Shane McMahon's like, well, you know, we don't want you to do that, Jerry. You know, you play a big part on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And he goes, look, if I lose to this jabroni, if I lose to this nobody, then I don't even belong on this show. You know, like I don't even belong on the B show. You know, if I lose to this guy, then I'm pretty much like I'm leaving Sunday Night Heat if I lose to him. And Shane's just like, well, Jerry, if that's what you want to do. But, you know, the Hurricane, I mean, he's a superhero. How are you going to beat a superhero? Jerry the King Lawler just rolls his eyes and he goes, come on, Brian, let's get out of here. And Brian's just like, my word, Father, your temper has gotten the best of you. Might you need a good tea? And he's like, shut up with that. And he walks out. You know, they walk out of the room and everything. We go on to our next segment. The segment got an 85, not bad. We move on to our next segment. It is an interview. That did terrible because both, yeah, yeah. Ultimo Dragon can't talk. And Ultimo Dragon walks out with the WWF Light-Heavyweight Championship, and Kevin Kelly's in the ring, and he goes, Ultimo, we found out earlier tonight that you issued an open challenge to anybody willing to take you on for your WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. Do you have any opponents that you want? And Ultimo Dragon, you know, his English is not very good, so he kind of sits there and he goes, that's right, Kevin Jelly Kelly. I want anybody who thinks they can beat me for my championship to come out here and face me one-on-one. And all of a sudden, we hear like this gangster rap music start playing. And we've heard this music before, ladies and gentlemen, and it is R. Killings, Ron Killings, going by R. Killings. He is the NXT champion, and he is taking on Ultimo Dragon, and they have a very competitive match that got a 78. Not bad at all, not a bad main event, but Ultimo Dragon makes defense number 3 when he beats R. Killings by pinfall. We move on to the next segment, and after the match, Ultimo Dragon pretty much shakes Ron Killings' hand and thanks him for the match, you know, and R. Killings celebrates, and Ultimo Dragon pretty much kind of puts him over as like, yeah, this guy can go. This guy can go. And this segment got a 56. R. Killings improvised well throughout the segment. Good stuff here from our future talent, R. Killings, here tonight. We move on to the final segment of the night, and we see Shane McMahon sitting in his office, and he gets a phone call, and he goes, what? Yeah, the show's over. Show's over. We just had a final match. Yeah, that R. Killings is pretty good, yeah. What's that? On Raw? Both of them? And they agreed to it? Perfect, yeah. I'll get on the phone with Sean right now and let him know. He goes, man, Sean's going to be excited to hear that news. Yeah, no, thank you. He hangs up and he goes, yeah, Sean's going to be excited to hear that. And he picks up the phone and he pushes some numbers in and he goes, Sean, yeah, Shane, hey, yeah, I don't know if you heard, but you got your match on Raw, man. It's going to be you versus Nash or Hall, man. You got your match. They agreed to it. Yeah, I knew that you would be excited for this news. All right, man. Yeah, I'll see you there. All right. Later. Take care. And Shane McMahon hangs up the phone as we get the WWF end credits and we finish the show with an 88. Not bad. I mean, we kind of got 100 at the end there, but, you know, good stuff here. Awesome main event between R. Killings and Ultimo Dragon for the Light Heavyweight Championship with a 78. Awesome stuff. We also did awesome stuff. That our main event did good, did exactly what I wanted to. That's why I made it the main event. But we're going to go ahead and finish the show out strong. Let's go here. Let's see. All right. Okay, dokie. Well, guys, that has been Sunday Night Heat. Let's look around the world. Let's see if we see anything. Steve Corino hurt. He's going to be out of action for a few months. Man, that is terrible news. Terrible news. I hate when my guys get hurt like that. And, man, that sucks. That really sucks. Oh, man. Alright. Well, anyway, guys, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for liking the video, like always, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for leaving comments down below, for those of y'all who leave comments down below. If you are new to the channel and like what you see, the subscribe icon will be right here. If you want to go back and watch previous episodes, that playlist will be right here. And in this corner right here, we will have the last episode of Monday Night Raw, so you can go back and catch up with the previous week and find out what's going on. My name is Dylan Villain, guys, and like we always say here at Pro Am Gaming, if you can't play with each other, do what I'm doing right now and play with yourselves, guys. I'll see y'all on the next episode of Monday Night Raw.